So my main goal is to empty out the house. My second main goal is to make the family money. And the third main goal is the one you're going to like. It's to make that house visible, not only to the realtors, but also to the neighbors and to people out of state that are moving into the area, because we are getting a lot of big companies, a lot of executives are moving to the area. And by going to estatesales.net, you can find houses in the area you want to live.
Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
I'm Scott Bursey, your host, and today I'm joined by someone I've really been looking forward to chatting with, James Major, who's been making serious moves in the residential real estate and asset liquidation space. James joins us to pull back the curtain on the world of professional estate liquidation, from identifying hidden gems to managing crowd control and high-value appraisals. James helps bridge the gap between a cluttered home and a sold sign. If you've ever had a listing stalled by too much stuff, this episode is for you. James, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
It's
It's a pleasure to be here, and I'm glad to finally talk to you. I've been following you, and this is going to be amazing.
awesome. And I think our audience is really going to take something away, James, from your process. Let's dive in, shall we?
Sounds great. I'm ready.
Okay. So first off, for people who may not be familiar with your world, give us the short version. What's been your main focus these days?
My main focus of my business is to empty out the house. When somebody has to move into assisted living, if they get a divorce, if they buy a house that's a different style from their furniture in their current house, if they get a raise and they move to executive living, or if they're moving in with family, all of these, they're downsizing, upsizing, whatever they're doing, I can step in and take all the stress away from them and handle selling all of their items that they do not want that they leave in the house. So my regulations are that nobody is living in the house and everything in the house is for sale. If somebody's living there, it's a nightmare. It's just crazy. Um, you can't have a bunch of stuff in there that isn't for sale, because for some reason, everybody will want to buy that item. So sometimes the larger furniture can stay if we can use it for merchandising. But my goal is to empty out the house. My second main goal is to make the family as much money as possible. Because if they don't make money, I don't make money. What differentiates me from other estate sale companies is if I do not sell an item, like if I do not sell the big bookcase in the library, the bookcase is still the client's property. Because now a lot of these other companies, they have a storefront, they have a website, they have storage units, or they do online auctions and things like that. So in their contracts, in a lot of situations, what does not sell becomes the estate sale company's property. So I have seen some companies that will use their estate sales to create inventory for their private businesses.
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
And so when the houses are full on Sunday, they don't really care because all of that's going to become theirs. And so I've seen it happen. It's been a bad practice. I've worked for companies that did that. And then I was told, you need to start your own if it upsets you that much. And that's why I got into this.
Awesome. Awesome. That's
Because when
really good.
something is not in the system, that if you don't like the way the system's being run, it's easier to start your own instead of change what's already there.
Good point. And James,
Yeah,
what
and
markets
so so some of the customers, they want to make a lot of money. They say, I want this for this. I spent this much on this. Those people I will not sign a contract with because I am not going to lie to them just to get the contract. I'm going to be honest with them, and it's kind of upsetting sometimes, but you have to let them know that my service is to empty out the house. It's not to make you rich. So that is a benefit. And some of these companies overpromise what they're going to make and stuff like that. I never tell a number because you never know. There are so many variables in this business. They had a racetrack going through the town in Arlington I didn't know anything about, and it blocked off half the traffic. That was weird. I didn't expect that, but things happen, but my customers still come. But so my main goal is to empty out the house. My second main goal is to make the family money. And the third main goal is the one you're going to like. It's to make that house visible, not only to the realtors, but also to the neighbors and to people out of state that are moving into the area, because we are getting a lot of big companies, a lot of executives are moving to the area. And by going to estatesales.net, you can find houses in the area you want to live. And when you go to those estate sales, you see a great sampling of every type of person that lives in about a 10-mile radius. You can meet the people, talk to the people, see how they act, talk to them about the churches, the schools, the taxes, the recycling bins. We get all the questions, but it's a more calm environment to go to an estate sale than to go with a realtor and look at a house. We get the honest vision of what the house is because it still has everything from the previous owner in it. A lot of people like that. They like history. They like to know, what was this house like? When you walk into a cold, empty house that you have to turn on the lights to see anything, it's just a shell of a house. It's not a home. When they come into my estate sales, they are greeted, hopefully, by the realtor. We'll get into that later. But they're greeted by my employees. They see how much fun the customers are having. They get to look around the house in all the nooks and crannies. And if there's certain parts of the house that are blocked off, like we had a spiral staircase to a bird's nest on the 4th floor of a house. It was not open to the public, but if they asked me about it, I showed it to them. And so people will come to these estate sales to scope out the house. If they have family moving into town, they hit the estate sales because they're going to find a house before it even goes on the market.
Very, very good points. And what I'm taking away from this is you're operating under the highest morals that you possibly can. And I tip my hat to you on that.
Yes.
What markets are you operating
Yes.
in?
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
I do my, you mean where am I advertising? Or,
Yes. Yes.
I do my main advertising on estatesales.net, which has recently been purchased by an auction company, which they're trying to push me into online auctions. But I'm more comfortable doing a sale with a handshake than an email. So
Okay.
I prefer the one on one. This selling somebody's belongings that they took their entire life collecting in a house they've lived in for 35 years is a more personal thing than something you can express over a computer.
Sure.
So the one on one is what makes the difference. Plus, I hire salespeople. I don't just have monitors sitting in the corner making sure people don't steal stuff. If we have a customer that approaches a vase, we will say, "Are you interested in the vase? Would you like to know something about it?" If we do know anything about it. And so we find out who they are, who their interest is. We let them know our names. So then they know us, they come to us, they support us, and they know that we're doing the right thing for the right reasons. And that's what makes us different. Now, by advertising on estatesales.net, they typically, some of the sales, they get maybe 1,000 views, 2,000 views. I started doing funny photographs. I would put on a hat, a funny hat. I would, anything with a mirror. I make sure that I'm making a funny face in the mirror in the reflection. So they're still seeing what they can buy, but then they go, "Oh, wait, there he is." And it's just kind of like a Where's Waldo kind of moment. And
Sure.
so it's kind of interesting. And I get stopped all the time by people saying, "Are you the one that makes the funny photos?" And I'm like, yes, and I'll put on the wigs, I'll put
Sure.
on the moo-moos,
Oh,
but
yes.
in doing that, I'm showing, and I'm changing what new people think about estate sales. A lot of people think estate
Mhm.
sales are depressing and boring and gross and weird. And I am letting them know that by the time my team goes in, we clean, organize, research, price, photograph, advertise, 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 advertise. By then, the house looks amazing. It's a complete collection of everything they've been collecting over the years. And we turn it into a celebration of that family's ability to make a house a home. And when people come in, especially when the children come in and it's their parents' house, it's the house they grew up in, they come in right before the sale or the night before the sale, and they're able to see how respectful we've been in setting up, in staging. And I try to tell them not to look at the prices because everybody has a sentimental value of what a vase is, but the retail price of the vase is not nearly that. So the sentimental value tends to be a lot more than what it really will sell for. But they understand that. And there are several families I've done several estate sales for, and they love the way it's presented. They love the way it's a memory. I tell them different ways to handle going through it themselves. And a lot of people, a lot of families and clients will use me as the hard person to deal with and blame me for putting a time frame on family, because time frame is everything in this business, especially when a realtor is involved. I have 2 people that called me and contacted me this last week. I've been talking to them for months. They said, "My house sold in 3 days. I'm supposed to hand over the key in a week and a half."
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
That's not enough time for me to stage, advertise, and hold an estate sale. So, but usually I know the realtors, and the realtors know me, and they say, "Oh, is it James Major Estate Sales?" And they say, "Yeah." They say, "Okay, we know exactly how long it takes him. We'll get in contact with them." And then they change the date of passing the key. Because not only do I know how to sell things, I also have some charities that will come in, take everything remaining after the sale, leave it broom ready. That's their own term, broom ready, and leave them an itemized list and an inventory of what they take and a tax write-off sheet. And so right there, you're saving the client about $1,000 for a clear out and a cleanup. And then, and then the realtors will typically get their cleaners to come in and then do the photographs of the empty house. But a lot of them use my photos of the house with the furniture in it to make it seem like a real home. Because a lot of people come with their realtor to my estate sales, and they are going to remember this house that I'm doing this estate sale at, because all the other houses were just empty and boring. They're not going to differentiate what those other 3 houses, but they're going to remember, "Oh, the one with the estate sale. Yes, we love that back patio. That would be perfect for our morning coffee." You know, and so we make an impression on the people with the house, and we also sell the stuff and make some money. But but running an honest business and letting the client know that I am there for them to not only help them physically sell the stuff and move on and get their house on the market. I am there because I've been through a lot in my life. I want to be there on the psychological part of it, because this can be a traumatic event. Having to say goodbye to everything you grew up with, everything you collected over the years, having to say goodbye to that, it can tear families apart. I've seen it, I've seen siblings just fight, fight, fight over this. I've seen it bring families together. I've seen it just drag out because one person can't say goodbye. They've been trying to go through mother's stuff, and they've spent 3 months doing that. They're paying for the house. They need to get it on the market. They need to get it sold. And that person, so sometimes the family will use me by saying, "We signed a contract. This is the date. This is when you have to hand over the key to James so that they can set up and hold their sale." So I like to be able to help people in that, but I do understand how hard it can be. And I take special care of those people.
Absolutely. Being compassionate and having a deep empathy is really what separates you along with your high standards. Hey, that is awesome. What caught
Yes.
my attention about you, James, was the way you've been able to bridge the gap between a cluttered home and a closing date. That's not easy, especially in this climate. What's been the key for your machine to running smoothly?
The key is to hire the right people. My team is fantastic. It's almost magical how much work can be done in a single day. The ways that they start is when we get the keys, and on day 1, we go in, we pull everything out of the closets, out of the cabinets, figure out what all is there. We don't throw anything away yet unless it's trash and stinky. But even some of the stinky stuff sells. But so we collect, and then we divide things into like office supplies, and office supplies will be throughout the whole house. Then we put that all in one room. Then there could be children's stuff. Then we put all that, we're going to be putting all that in one room. We divide up everything into categories, and then we figure out which rooms they need to be in, which rooms have the best lighting for the clothing, which items, and then we get all the jewelry up close to the checkout stand. And my team really, I mean, I thought I was good at this when I started this way back when. It was a hard pill to swallow when I found out that there are people that are better at this than I am. And I had to realize that I just need to let them do it because everybody does the setup differently, but the results are just phenomenal. They do it differently than I do, but the end result is something I never even dreamed of. And then the clients also respect that. And also, the realtors are like, holy shamoly, I cannot believe how good this house looks now. Because, we're going in there and doing a service. We are cleaning, organizing, researching, pricing, staging. And throughout the estate sale, when we sell a bunch of stuff, of course, on day one, we restage as we go along. We consolidate, we move stuff. Sometimes we will have like mid-century modern room, but then, a lot of stuff will sell, and then we'll put a mid-century modern lamp on an antique table and then put it with an IKEA piece. Three things that normally don't go together, but they might have something in common, like color, size, or preference of age that would need it, and do it that way. And we find links between things that nobody else would have put together, just like with the kitchen stuff. Kitchen, everybody has a kitchen color. No matter whose kitchen it is, there is a certain color for their kitchen. They will not buy anything for that kitchen unless it's their color. So when we set up the kitchen stuff, we divide it by color. We have the red section, we have the yellow section, we have and it makes a huge difference, and it
I can imagine.
simplifies the shopping for the customer.
Certainly. Let me ask you this. What are you most focused on solving next or scaling, or what's your big goal?
What's my big goal for doing what?
Yes. What would be your next move in business now? Do you have any targets, any ambitions as far as progressing the business, or what is your strategy that you are going to be employing for your business here? Let's just say the next 6 to 12 months.
In the next 6 to 12 months, I am being pushed into the online auction situation. There are a lot of people that are just downsizing and selling partial households. They're selling a storage unit. They want to get from underneath the payments of the storage units, things like that. Or they have a special item they don't use anymore. Or they've got a bunch of baby stuff and they're no longer having babies, so they need to get rid of that. I'm looking at finding a warehouse where I can offer people a place to take their items to. I can have a team there that will organize it like an estate sale. We'll have the baby stuff from one family. We'll have office stuff from another family. We'll have like the bicycle stuff, and run it like an estate sale and do the
Sure.
full price Friday, 25% off Saturday, 50% off on Sunday, and then donate the rest of it. So that warehouse will be empty. It won't be the same sale twice at that location. But being in my position right now, I'm not financially able to sign a lease and have a demanding price monthly overhead. So if anybody has a free warehouse, let me know. We can all make money on it. But I want to be able to do that because there's so many people that come to me and need my help. But
Sure.
I'm not
Sure.
able to help them because they don't have a full estate sale or they're still living in the house, and so that's one thing that I want to do. I need to get better at online auctions, but also, I definitely want to talk about how the estate sales working hand in hand with a realtor not only benefits the client who owns the house, it will definitely benefit the realtor. So, would you like to know a little bit about that?
Yes, let's touch on that. And if you can recap that and give us the insight within about 2 to 4 minutes, James, that would be just
All
ideal.
right. All right. So, I had a friend who's a realtor. She called me up. She had just gotten her real estate license. She came to me, this was during COVID. She came to me and
Uh,
said, "Hey, I just got my real estate license. Do you have any ideas for me?" I said, "Why don't you come and be a greeter at my estate sale?
Hey,
There's not there is not a realtor assigned to this. The family has not put the house on the market. It is an STBOTM, which is a soon to be on the market house. So my investors know what that means, and the family and my regulars know what that means." And she came and she was a greeter, and she, at the time, we had to check temperature and hand sanitizer and mask and all that. So she had a 2-minute window with everybody that came to my estate sale. She said, "Hello, my name is so and so. I'm new to real estate. I just got my real estate license. If you have any questions about this house, I can find that out for you in the future. If you have any questions about your own house, because the market is so good, I can quickly come up with an appraisal of your house of, what other houses in your neighborhood are selling for. And so we can talk about that because a lot of people that come to estate sales are do it yourselfers. And so they've been remodeling their house, and their house is 15 years old, and they might have outgrown it. They don't realize how much their house is worth, but because they don't know a realtor. So she is introducing herself as a new realtor. So she has that in common with that customer because they're new to asking about realty. So they're going to grow together, and she can not only introduce herself as a realtor and represent a house and then represent the houses she has later on, but she can create a customer. She can create a client out of a customer by letting them know, "Hey, this is how much your house is worth. I can get you in this other fixer upper that's larger, that has more room for you and your growing family, and we can make money from the old house." And so she can not only sell the house we're in, she can sell that customer's house, and then they're lifelong friends. And so that, by her giving out her card, she had 12 appointments that next week. She was new to the business. She went into her office. They could not understand how she had so many appointments with brand new customers that weren't sure if they wanted to sell or not, but they wanted to learn more. And
right.
about half of those people did want to sell, did want to buy, and ended up helping her start her business with a bang.
Thank you for that recap, and thank you for this conversation, James. This has been
Yes,
very educational. Thank you so much. Well, listen, I appreciate your time, your story, and definitely your perspective. If somebody wanted
excellent.
to reach out to you and correspond, what's the best way for them to contact you, James?
The best way to contact me is just texting me.
Okay.
My phone number is 817-880-4234. Now, you can text me. A lot of people text me, say, "Hey, it's time. Let's get this on the road." And you can also follow me on estatesales.net. You go to that website, and in the search box, type in James Major, because I always put James Major in the title of my sale, because with the layout of estatesales.net, it typically has an area that you will get advertisements from. And sometimes I'm outside of their area, but my customers know I'm worth the drive.
I would say that you definitely are. James, this has been super fantastic. Thank you for being on the show today.
You bet. Scott Bursey, it's been a pleasure speaking with you. Anytime you want to talk, just let me know.
I'll take you up on that. We need more people
All
in the
right.
space doing it the right way. And for those of you
I
tuning
would
in,
love to teach them. Yes,
it,
I'm
it,
looking for people. I would love to like teach people in other states. I would love to travel. I would love to do this on TV. So let me know.
okay, very good. We'll
All
definitely
right.
keep in touch. And for everybody that tuned in today, thanks for joining us. We appreciate each and every one of you. Until the next episode, everybody, so long for now.